Something has happened to Lucas Paqueta. It was Paqueta. I don't really know what's going on with him at all. I'm very, very disappointed, truth be known, because at the very point in the season where West Ham needed him and needed their best players to step up and stand up, he's completely gone missing. There's absolutely no doubt about it in my mind whatsoever. And I think last week I was very much speaking about the focus on David Moyes and the team being somewhat diminished by the fact that all the media speculation was on Ruben Amorim coming over. There was a lot of news about David Sullivan, about Tim Steidten. A lot of the stories had really taken a lot of the heat, I felt, off of the team and their performance against Crystal Palace. I think there was sort of heroism in many respects about the first half against Leverkusen that masked what happened in the second half. And I certainly felt that the run of games also, because they were so frequent one after the other, it stopped any huge amount of introspection on the Fulham game as well. But what's been clear, and probably since the Wolves game at least, is that Lucas Paqueta has been completely and utterly out of form. And I think what I've been most worried about over anything is the fact that it's sort of like, I don't think it's gone unnoticed, but it's gone under the carpet. So I think David Moyes has taken a lot of flack, a lot of it recently. And don't get me wrong, I think we're at a point now where a parting of the ways is inevitable. And I personally believe it's the right thing to do. However, he's stuck with Paqueta. He's retained faith in him. And I'm looking at it now and looking at a situation where our most expensive record signing ever has just not performed. And I think at that pivotal crunch time, both in Europe and in the Premier League, when there was still a glimmer of a hope of getting back into Europe again next season, I felt watching that game against Liverpool that he had no impact whatsoever. Now, the truth of the matter is I've not spoken to anybody else about it. And actually, the first comment that I read when I did my video and my post-match review after the Liverpool game was somebody saying, I think you've been a little bit harsh on Paqueta there. So what I've done is got my old man here. I've not even spoken to him about it yet. So is it just me? Or what are your thoughts on it?
Well, ever since Paqueta's come to the club, he's wanted to be the centre of attention and the focal point for the team. He's always been demanding the ball. He wants the ball in difficult situations. He loves having two or three players around him so that he can demonstrate how clever he is with the ball and then create space because, you know, he'll tie two or three players up and then get the ball in some unusual manner. He'll manage to extricate the ball and create an opportunity. He wasn't looking for the ball today. He was a peripheral character. And it wasn't just today. I mean, one of the big disappointments about Leverkusen games was, of course, that he missed one because he was suspended. And that was a real shame. And I would argue, our most effective player of the whole season missed one of the Leverkusen games as well in Alvarez, who I thought was excellent today. Yep. The only thing that Paqueta did of any significance today was when he stamped on McAllister and sort of took him out of the first half. Paqueta's always had that in him that, he can be he gives as good as he gets because he does get plenty, but he didn't get plenty today because he wasn't involved.
Yeah, sorry, just so for everybody, well, this will be going live, this video, on Sunday. So when he says today, we're recording this on the day of the Liverpool game. Do you think we went missing in that game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, normally he's looking to link up with Emerson. He's looking for Bowen. And again, it was one of the reasons they mentioned at the end of the first half that Antonio had hardly touched the ball. Well, who's the player who should be finding Antonio? It's the person playing in the pocket. That was supposed to be where Paqueta was supposed to be playing, but he wasn't there. He often drifts over to the left-hand side to be near Emerson. He wasn't really doing that today either. He wasn't particularly covering players. Not quite sure what he was doing. Would it be much better off playing Earthy or Alford there?
I totally agree. Earthy wasn't even on the bench. You're absolutely right. I got to a point where I thought almost anyone there would be better. And
Even Ben Johnson, I actually thought Moyes might bring Johnson on for Paqueta because
yeah,
Paqueta was having so little impact, and Johnson coming on is normally his first substitution. But I suppose because Ward-Prowse wasn't playing today, he became the first substitute. And if he was going to do a second one, it would have been Johnson.
yeah. I mean, look, David Moyes is not blameless, and he gets I think he gets a lot of stuff wrong. And listen, we'll discuss that over in our video over on Patreon, about the overall game and whatnot. But I thought from the players, I thought overall the attitude from everyone was excellent, even if not everything went their way all the time. The only player whose attitude I sort of questioned was Paqueta, and I felt really quite disappointed for someone like Mohamed Kudus, who was toiling, I feel, to one extent or another, in West Ham's grave shift role, which is the graveyard shift, which is that left-hand side. It has been the demise of many a West Ham player under David Moyes. That left-hand side is honestly where West Ham players go to die, quite frankly, under David Moyes. And I felt he never let his head drop. He tried everything. He was trying to cross. He was trying to drive and cut the ball back. He was trying to cut inside and shoot. And I was watching this and just thinking, my ideal would have been at that point to actually get Ben Johnson on, play him at left back, push Emerson up on the left wing, and put Kudus in the middle, and take Paqueta off, get him off the pitch, because I actually felt sorry for Kudus. I thought, actually, you probably deserve to be playing in the middle there. And the thing is, Antonio showed he wasn't involved in that game at all. But Antonio showed quite what he could bring to the team and how his attitude was right. Because actually, when he was afforded a chance to get in the game, and even right at the very last kick of the game was Antonio chesting it, doing a swivel and getting a shot, which we weren't able to get the corner, which was a bit of a shame actually, because the referee blew his whistle. But anyway, don't go too much into the game at the moment, which we'll deal with that. Just on Paqueta quickly. I don't know what he's playing at, and maybe it's a cynic. Maybe I'm not a great conspiracy theorist. It has to be said. I don't naturally disbelieve stuff. I generally believe what I'm told, unless it's proven otherwise. But I look at this situation where Man City are trying to drive his price down. They don't want to pay the get-out clause. And there was time earlier this season when you would look at it and you thought, well, hold on, you're lucky to be getting him for 85 million, quite frankly, because he looked just world-class. And I'm looking at it now, and I'm thinking there's a situation here where maybe, just maybe, they won't pay that. And actually, we might accept less than it, because when he plays like that, he's a hindrance. I felt like we were playing with 10 men. Do you think he's going to turn up and turn it on against Pep, though, in the final game?
Who knows? But the thing is, Pep does not recruit players who've got bad attitudes. And if someone has got a bad attitude in any way, he won't put up with it. So Paqueta might think that he's better than West Ham and he should be playing in a Champions League side, whatever. But the way to get Pep to take him out of West Ham is not for him to sulk and not play. That will not go down well. Pep won't like that. Pep likes players who really try and put a shift in. So I think if he continues to play the way he does, he won't be driving his price down. He'll be taking Man City out of the market, because Pep will think, actually, I'd prefer Kudus to Paqueta, because Kudus will is making things happen, and he's putting in the effort in all the time, even when it's a lost cause, just in the same way that Bowen does.
Yeah, absolutely. They're two workaholics, Kudus and Bowen, no doubt about that at all. It's a funny one. It is a funny one. But I mean, look, I guess the case of watch this space. He needs to turn it on in the last 2 or 3 games for himself. It's too late for West Ham, and that's why I'm a little bit. Well, I'm more than a little bit disappointed. He needed to show up. He really did. And now the other results have obviously gone against us as well. I know it was only a point for Man U, but, we could do with him doing. We needed to win, and we needed other people to lose, and Newcastle go and romp it. all right, man, you get a draw. But they both got games in hand as well. Chelsea got 3 games in hand. They're only a couple of points behind us. So, it doesn't matter for West Ham now what Lucas Paqueta does. It does matter, and I'm talking about for league position. It probably does matter for him, though, because if he's not very, very careful, then you may well find that Lucas Paqueta could well find himself at West Ham again next season.
Yeah, no, I think that's, if he puts in performances like that for the next 3 games, I don't think he'll go anywhere, because I don't think people will want him. If he's somebody with attitude, he's always had attitude, but the attitude he used to portray was, I'm the best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
I can do things with the ball that you can't even imagine. Come and try and get it off me if you can. And he wasn't afraid of a fight or tackle and stuff like that. Yeah, he throws himself around a bit, play acting and stuff like that. But 9 times out of 10, if there's a fight to be had, he'll join in the fight, and he'll put himself about. But today he wasn't doing anything, and he was the only one who wasn't. So yeah, very, very sad and a real shame, because he is a class player. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. Well, listen, let us know in the comments below what you think. Am I being harsh? Do you agree with both of us? What's going to happen with Lucas Paqueta in the running the rest of the season? Do you want to keep him? Let us know in the comments below. Stick a thumbs up on the video if you'd be so kind. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, because Gio talks about this, I've done my research. He sometimes says over half of you haven't subscribed to the channel. He's absolutely right. Click that subscribe button, ding the bell, which is the icon next to the subscribe button, do the thumbs up, leave a comment. Not asking much, am I?